Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you had a nice student-free day yesterday. Today, we're going to continue our work with data analysis, and we're going to once again talk about ways to look at data. So we're going to start talking about distribution. A little reminder, if we have a histogram that looks like this, then we have a histogram that is skewed to the left because that's where this tail is. Most of the data is over here, so we call that skewed to the left. If we have a histogram that looks like this, on the other hand, we call that skewed to the right because most of the data is over here and it kind of has a tail going on the other side. Now, what we're going to be working with and analyzing today is this type of histogram, which we call normal distribution. And today we're going to be seeing that, as you can tell, our normal distribution looks like a bell curve. And that's because it looks like the bottom of a bell. And that fits when it's in normal distribution. All of your data fits more or less underneath that bell curve. Now, what that means is some very specific things for statistics. If we have a normal distribution, that means that the mean, the median, and the mode are all the same, and it's that highest point in the center. And it also has symmetry at the center. Now, symmetry at the center means that half of all the values are greater than the mean and half of all values are smaller than the mean. So that's what we're talking about when we're looking at normal distribution, and we can use the bell curve. Today is one day of two that we're going to talk about standard deviations. And we're just going to go over an overview today. You're going to do a little practice in Desmos, and tomorrow I'm going to show you guys how to figure out the actual standard deviation. Now, you can only use standard deviation if it has a normal distribution, like we just saw underneath the bell curve. And so what is standard deviation? It's how spread out the numbers are. Are they bunched together or are they really long and skinny? So we're going to be analyzing that today. So we talk about one standard deviation from the center. So right here is our 0, and here's 1 and -1. And that means that 68% of all the data is going to be in that portion of the curve. And that's one standard deviation. Now, your actual amount for standard deviation is going to vary depending on your data. And I'm going to teach you tomorrow how to figure that out. Now, two standard deviations take up 95% of the data. So 95% of the numbers are going to be under this portion of the bell curve. And lastly, if we go out 3 standard deviations either way, 99.7% of the data is going to fall within these ranges. So that's what we're looking at when we're talking about standard deviation. So how do I figure that out? Once again, we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on that and learn that tomorrow. Today, you're going to move on to your Desmos activity, and then you're going to go ahead and do your Khan Academy assignment as well. Your word of the day today is C star. C star. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.